In this day and age, let's not lie, we all compare ourselves to other people. I mean, it's normal, it's part of human nature, but when we spend our whole day obsessing over other people, that's when it can get really problematic. We've been comparing ourselves to other people since childhood, since primary school, since secondary school. We've been looking at these other people, looking at their perfect lives and comparing ours to theirs. But the thing is that we only really saw what they let us see. We didn't see their whole life, and we just based our perception of them over what we got to see. And what did comparing ourselves to other people do? Did it make us more wealthy? Did it make us more pretty? Did it improve our mental state? No, it didn't. It literally just did the opposite. All it brought us was sadness and feeling of inferiority. In the day of social media, you are being presented with the best versions of people. The perfect humans, the perfect bodies, the perfect lives. It's almost hard to wake up one day and not compare yourself to someone else in that day. I'm gonna give an analogy of this. Let's say you're in a room with 100 other people. You can all see each other. It's almost like an exam hall, and you all have this clump of clay that you have to mold into the best sculpture ever. Let's say you were sitting right next to the best artists, and even some of them were being projected onto this large screen at the front of the room. You would be comparing your clump of clay to someone else's castle, and ultimately you will not be able to focus on your own work. You'll just be looking left, right, and center. Let's say they put up borders between every table, or they even gave you guys separate rooms. You would not be comparing yourself to anyone, and you'll put your sole focus into making the best sculpture that you can, despite anyone else's view, despite anyone else's opinion. Everyone would make the best thing they could without anyone else's approval. And obviously everyone is different, so if someone's good may be different to someone else's good. And that's okay. You don't always need to compare yourself to other people. You by yourself, you can make something great of yourself, and if you keep letting yourself think about other people and think about what other people think about you, you're never gonna get anywhere, and you're just gonna be sad, let's be honest. This is why social media is so detrimental to your mental health, especially Instagram. Instagram is the worst culprit for this, because Instagram is so forced. I feel like you have to dress up, wear your makeup, put on eyelashes, go outside, find a nice spot to pose, and have this light and edit it, put a visco filter over it, and it's just not unfiltered. It's so forced, and for you to compare your worst to someone else's best, it just really messes you up. Let's be honest, some people edit their bodies, and sometimes you might not notice, and you'll compare your body to a body that is not even real and a body that's not even attainable, and it's just so bad for you. There are whole TikTok trends which are built on comparing your body features. Let's get this straight. Like, at first it was a bit, you know, it was okay. People were comparing side profiles, I guess, and then it got to noses. Got to wonder if you can't touch your lips and your nose at the same time that you're not pretty. And then it got to the point where people were comparing back profiles, like the profile of your back as you were walking. Let's actually do this. How are people comparing the profile of their backs to other people? Like, what are we actually doing at this point? If you don't have the norm, you are shunned. You're gonna get cussed in those comments. And people on TikTok have no filter. Unlike other social media, like things that are just rude, I feel like will be filtered out automatically. The person wouldn't see it. But on TikTok, people have no filter. If they don't like the shape of your nose, they will let you know that. They'll be like, yeah, I ran to the comments. Oh my gosh, you went to the comments. They'll just make a joke about the nose or whatever feature they don't like. And it will just make the person feel so bad. And that person will never forget it. The person who commented that will scroll and probably forget that in a few seconds after another TikTok. But the person who that comment's directed to will probably remember that for like the rest of their lives, and will probably feel really insecure about it, won't go a day without thinking about it, and probably want to have surgery or just be depressed about their look. And it's just so bad. You are given your body. You can't change that body. You can have surgery all you want, but the way you are is the way you are naturally. So for people to be comparing something that they had no choice over, it just makes no sense. Like, we had no choice over how we came out looking. Like, how are people comparing things like noses and lips and back profiles when you literally did not do anything to alter them? That's literally how it came out. So I just really don't understand it. You shouldn't compare your body to someone else's body. It just doesn't make sense. And I feel like that whole abs trend in 2 weeks thing that was so popular during lockdown was so detrimental, because people would post and contort their bodies in the best way possible to show that they lost so much weight in 2 weeks. Obviously, someone's gonna suck in their stomach a little bit. They're going to poke out their stomach more in the before photo and just make it seem like they had the most drastic weight loss over 2 weeks, because they want to get views. Let's be honest, everyone wants to get views. So let's say you do the same program and you don't see the same results. In fact, you barely see anything. You're gonna be like, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? How did they do this? And you'll probably like restrict yourself and end up probably getting an eating disorder just because you want to compare yourself to someone else's unattainable result. And I just feel like that is so toxic. The moment you stop comparing yourself to other people is the moment where you actually get to see your progress. You are moving at your own pace and not anyone else's. If you see people your age with a car, with a house, with a job, with grades that you don't have, Don't compare yourself to them. You are not them. You didn't grow up with the same experiences, the same resources, the same upbringing to be the person that they are. You will never be the person that they are, and that's something that sounds so bad, but you actually need to hear it. And the way that you'll progress will be something that you don't notice. Like, you won't notice every day, I'm progressing. It'll be one day when you wake up and you're like, wow, look how far I've come compared to before. That's something that you can't do by constantly comparing yourself to other people. You open Instagram and you just scroll through and you'll just see so many people you want to compare yourself to. And if you keep doing that, you will never progress. You'll just end up in some bad mental state. Even when it seems like you're not moving, you actually are. You just won't see it immediately. And if you keep putting in the work, if you keep doing what you need to do, you will see that progress that you want. Comparing yourself to other people actually does almost nothing beneficial. Like, you don't gain anything good from it. It's just a way to make yourself seem inferior and helpless, like you can't achieve what you want to achieve because someone else is doing better. There will always be someone who seems like they're doing better than you, or just someone that looks like they're further on the journey than you are, and that's okay. I don't know, you will never be the top of the top. There'll always be something that you want to compare yourself to. You can literally do anything if you put your mind to it and stop thinking about what other people are thinking and stop thinking about what other people are doing. When you put less energy into what other people are doing, you will actually feel so liberated and so motivated to do what you want to do. And instead of comparing yourself to other people and just having jealousy towards them, see them more as inspiration. Like, as long as there's something that's realistic, like obviously don't compare yourself to people who have like removed their ribs and have like this hourglass figure, because you're probably never going to achieve that. But just compare yourself to something that is realistic and attainable. But obviously don't obsess over it. As I said before, don't compare yourself to unrealistic standards. There are some TikTok trends which are based on the natural shape of your body, like something that you can't really achieve if you don't have that kind of body structure, that bone structure. And like, to compare yourself to that is just like useless. Don't starve yourself and don't do clothing challenge to achieve something that is so unattainable. If you want to do exercise or whatever, do it to make yourself feel good. Don't get to do a body that someone else has, because when you don't see immediate results, you're just going to feel demotivated and you're not going to want to exercise. Do exercise because it feels good, and that relates to a lot of other activities that you might want to compare yourself in. Just focus on yourself and you will get to where you want to be. I hope this video helped in some way, and if it did, be sure to give a big thumbs up, comment and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already and you watched this whole video, like, what are you actually doing? Please subscribe, click the button, it's right there, so please click it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.